Okay, so orthographic projection question here on page 122 of your textbooks. So we're looking in at the elevation from A. So the elevation here is at A. Okay, and that means that if the arrow is pointing to the left, the elevation now is going to be on the left hand side of the page. The end view is looking in from B, and seeing as that arrow now is pointing to the right, means that the end view is going to be on the right hand side of our page here. Directly underneath A, we're going to have the view from the top, which we're going to call C, and that is the plan. Okay, so that's the plan there, looking down at the top, and that's going to be directly below A. So the overall height of the shape is given as being 80 millimeters. So from the bottom of our border, I have to measure down at least 80. So I'm going to actually measure down 110 millimeters. Draw a little dot and a line across the page. And we label that then the XY line. Okay, so that's our XY line there now. The overall width of our shape as we look in is going to be 120. Right, so along that line, we're going to measure in 70 mil. Okay, so I'm measuring in from the side here 80 mil, and that's going to be our starting point. So that represents this point here. So the overall width of the shape then is going to be 120. So from that point, we need to go across 120 mil, which is this point. The overall height of the shape then is given as 80. So up 80 construction line from the first point. Okay, and just a construction line across the top of the page there. And join it back up. Okay, so that now is a rectangle of 120 mil by 80 mil, and our elevation is going to fit directly into that. Okay, so we're given a few widths here. We're given 90 and 30. So I'm going to mark them off first. So 90 and 30. That's my 90, 30 left over. And we're also given on the top here 55, 35 and 30. So 55 plus 35, 10, 20, 35, and left over then we have 30, 10, 20, 30 left over. Okay, so projecting that point up and projecting the other points down, which is just this one here. Okay, so those are our widths. We have 90, we have 35, and we have 30. Now we need to get our heights. So to get our heights, we're just measuring up, and our heights here are given as 20, 15, 15 and 30. So 20, 15, 15 and 30. And with the t-square then just projecting them across the page. Okay, and what we have here now is a grid which our elevation is going to fit into. So that's our elevation there. So the first surface that we see when looking in from A is going to be this surface here, and we see we have a curved edge here as well of radius 30. So let's make our firm lines here first. So we're going to see all along the bottom anyway, and we're going to see all the way up the side here as well. And we're going to see up this section here as well to this point. And then we're going to see our radius 30 edge here. So we get our compass, set it to this point, open it up, and then just kind of swing in an arc. Okay, and that's a firm line then as well. Okay, so that's what we see from this surface here. So if we pop over to our SolidWorks drawing, okay, if we're looking straight in at the elevation, we're going to see something like this. So we're going to see this line all the way across, and it's given as being 35. We're going to see a drop of 15. We're going to see this line all the way across the bottom. We're going to see the line going up 20 mil, and then we're joining this point here to this point here. We're joining this point here to that point there. Okay, so back to our drawing. We said we had a straight line going across 35, straight line going up here, and down here, and then joining them up. Okay, so that now is what we're going to see from our elevation, and then it's just a matter of measuring up 5 and 5 and then just writing elevation on top. Okay, so directly under the elevation now we're going to have our view from C, so looking down from the top. So directly underneath now we're going to have the view from C, and that's the plan. Right, so if we look back at our drawing on SolidWorks, this is what the elevation looks like. And if we decide now to look at it down from the top, this now is what we're going to look like. Now, the overall width of this shape, as we're looking from the elevation, is 120. But then when we look from the plan, it's also going to be 120. Okay, so the overall width is still 120. Okay, which means that we can just project our lines down. Right, the width does not change, so we're just going to project our lines down. Okay, and 30 mil underneath the elevation, we're going to draw the first line of our plan. Okay, so it's measuring down 30 mil, draw a line across the page. What that represents now is, as we're looking from A, the line here at the back. Okay, this line all along the back here. Okay, so that's what this line here represents. So if we look at that again in our SolidWorks drawing, here is our shape. Okay, as we look at it straight on from the plan, that is the line that we've just drawn, all this line at the back. So we have to start now measuring forward in the shape. All these measurements here measuring forward. So if we go back to our drawing again, them measurements are going to be given as 25, 45 and 15, and overall that's 85. So I'm going to measure down 85 overall. Okay, and mark out these widths. So that's 25, 45 and 15. $25, 45, and left over then is 15, and just send them across the page. Okay, so again we have a grid that our plan now this time is going to fit into. So as we're looking down from C, the first surface we're going to see is all this slanted, this sloped surface here. We're going to see that first, and if we're drawing that from the top, it's going to be 30 mil by 85 mil. So it's going to be all this section here, 35. So we can make that now firm line. Yeah, so we have a grid here now that our shape is going to fit into. The first surface we're going to see is this one, and that's the one we're going to have to draw. So 30 by 85. So that now is this drawn in the plan. The next one that we'll have is maybe our slanted line from this point here all the way back to this point. So we know that we have to measure forward 25 and from this point then back 15, okay? And then we're joining them 2 points together. Okay, and the last thing to do is this line here across the top, which is given from this point, so it's going to be this line here, just drawing that line in. Okay, so that now is what our shape will look like from a plan view. If we go back to our SolidWorks image, we'll see that if we're looking straight in on top of it, that is what we're going to see. Okay, last view now is the end view, so looking straight in here at the end, and what we're going to see first is this surface, then we're going to see these two surfaces, this surface then, and then the slanted surface here at the top. Okay, so if we imagine we're standing out here looking straight in, this is the first surface we're going to see. So for the end view, and just the last thing, measuring up 5 and 5 and writing in that is our plan view. Okay, so projecting these lines up now at 45 degrees. Okay, and now projecting them up straight. Okay, we've agreed now that our end view is going to fit into. So, looking again at our drawing, the first surface we're going to see if we're standing at B is going to be this surface here. Okay, this one here at the front. And the dimensions of that are 25 by 20. So that's the 25. 25 and 28. I'm going to see all across the bottom here as well. Right, so the next surface that we're going to see is this surface here and this surface here. So to draw them then, we'll go back to our SolidWorks image, look it straight in. That's just going to look like a slanted area just here. Yeah. Okay, so we'll fill in what we do know here first. So from this point, we know we have to go across 45, which is going to get to this point, and we know we have to go up then 20 plus 15 plus 15. Okay, so that's 50. So we know we're going to have to go up 50 then. Okay, we also know that from this point now, we have to come back in all the way and all the way down. Okay, so what else do we know from this shape? We know that if we're looking straight at this back surface, we just see a straight line up, straight line across of 85, and a straight line down of 80. Okay, now all we're missing is this step here. Okay, how do we find how wide that step is? Well, we go back to our drawing. We've actually found that point here, so we can send that out. So we're taking it from the plan, sending it up at 45 degrees, and then sending that straight up again. Okay, so that now is going to find us this step here. Okay, and we have to imagine what we'd see if we were looking in from B, and we'd see this line here, which is going to be joining this point up to this point. Okay, and we'd see this surface here as this surface here. Okay, and this surface here as this surface here. So that's what we see then in the end view. And again, just measuring up 10 or 5 and 5 and writing end view. Okay, so that's our shape now drawn in orthographic projection. We have our elevation, our plan, and our end view. Just to finish off then, a quick freehand sketch down here in the corner. So to start that, we'll use the crow's foot. Okay, so we're using this shape then, and it's only a matter of following these lines out at 30 degrees like so to get a freehand sketch.